It is I, Frank the Clown, and you are watching the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast.
You're watching DCTV. Now here's your host, the voice, Dave Canning. It's you, it's me, it's DCTV. It's you, it's me, it's DCTV. Let's start the show.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is you, it is me, it is N.R.D. and H to P, and of course, F the C, because this week on episode, I believe we're on 46 now. Holy crap. Episode 46. Our guest this week is none other than the former main eventer and number one contender for the GCW World title, the main event of Freelance Wrestling Academy, the one, the only, from front row, Frank the Clown. Frank, thank you so much for coming on the broadcast this week.
I always very harshly judge the introductions I get. That was one of the better ones.
Yes.
Not gonna lie. I like to bury the introductions, but you everything you said was true. So I mean, you could always add more. You know, there's more accolades that I have. However, I will accept that. That is one of the better ones. So
we'll be here all day, and we want you out by lunchtime. So that's why
I'm a hungry clown.
We all are. But Frank, yes, thank you so much for coming on. We greatly appreciate it. One of the few guest members that we've had on here who has been immortalized in micro brawler form. So we will start with that because that's where the roots of this show come from. So can you take us through the process of how you got in touch with Pro Wrestling Tees and how they said, like, let's make a brawler of you?
Yeah, really, it was just like a random text out of the clear blue that was, hey, do you want a micro brawler? And I was like, hey, absolutely, I do. So yeah, it was probably it was earlier this year. So I mean, it's November now. It was probably around like May-ish, I want to say, where I first got kind of the Iggy on it. And obviously, I was super excited. Admittedly, I'm not a huge micro brawler collector myself. However, if you do see behind me, there are loads and loads of Funko Pops. This room that I'm in is literally my extra Funko Pop room. Like, this is just stuff that is either doubles or stuff I don't want or need. There's an entire room downstairs that I legitimately cannot walk into that has about 2,000 Funko Pops. I'm a freak. So I'm very much in tune with the collecting game and everything. So when I was asked about the micro brawler, me being a dork, of course, I was like, yes, 100%. And I was already throwing suggestions. I wanted a chase. I wanted the box this way. They're like, dude, we do it a certain way. Let's just do it this way. I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, I was really, really excited. I mean, it was an honor too. Like, it doesn't fall short on me, kind of like what it means. And I actually signed my first one at Freelance Wrestling on Friday night, and I had not seen him in person yet. And I was admittedly, again, marking out. Like, there was a moment where I was like, whoa, because I saw the pictures and everything, but it's different when it's in your hands. So I've had like custom action figures people have sent me and stuff, but not like an official produced, exclusive item that's true to the line. So yeah, it was very, very excited. So I'm very happy about it.
Yes, definitely. You went from Disney to Freelance to the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. So he's on no sleep, which is why he's got the sunglasses.
Literally I wrapped up at Disney. I went to the Mickey's Merry Christmas Party, whatever it's called, and it ended at like 1 a.m. I got back I have a home in Florida. I got back there at like 2:30 and then flew out at 8 a.m. So I got like 3 hours of sleep. Just laid in my bed for like the remainder of the day when I got home, and then I had to go main event Freelance Wrestling. And then yesterday I dicked around, whatever you want to call it, and now here I am.
Yes. And so obviously with the micro brawler being released, I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but we are part of the micro brawler fan group in which we just hit 1,000 members. Matt Cardona was our 1,000th member.
1,000.
So of course he was.
So what you can do is if you want to Jericho, be the Jericho to his D Malenko and be number 1,004, we would love to have you in.
I might have to strongly consider that.
Man of 1,004 group members.
You do have a micro brawler, so you should probably be in the fan group.
He makes a good point. Harold makes a great point. Hello, Harold, by the way. Nice
Hi there, Frank. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm happy you're here.
It's colorful. That's pretty cool.
It sure is. It
Yeah.
sure is.
Finally, somebody has more colorful hair than Harold for a change. So, but so in that fan group, when it was released, when it was announced by Michael Reddy and M3 Toys that you were going to get the exclusive Brawler, there was a bit of backlash. And I believe Michael Reddy told us that you knew about it. So
Yeah.
how did you take, because I'm sure as, you know, a lifelong wrestling fan, everyone's, you know, dream would be to be immortalized in figure form. And then this is some of the stupid reaction that we get in that group, unfortunately. Just what were your thoughts on that? What would you like to say to those haters if you'd like? Open microphone.
So I don't know if everyone knows this, but people don't particularly like Frank the Clown. So and there's a large batches and droves of people who will have all kinds of silly things to say. So I was not surprised whatsoever. But here's the thing, you're still gonna buy it. If you're a collector, you're still gonna want it. It doesn't matter. A lot of these collectors, and again, as a Funko Pop collector, I fell down the same slippery slope many of times. If you slap an exclusive sticker on something, or if something is limited number, I don't care what it is. They could make a Funko Pop that is a literal piece of shit. And if they said it was limited to 500 pieces, I'm buying the piece of shit. It's just the fact of the matter. I'm going to do it. So yeah, you know, people are complaining like, oh, he doesn't deserve a micro brawler and this and that. And maybe some people aren't fully aware that, you know, I make the independent circuit and I'm traveling around more so, and they still maybe look at me as like the fan Frank the Clown. And that's okay. I don't expect everybody to be aware of that. But yeah, it's just there's always been a weird stigma attached to me in social, like on social media and everything, for better or for worse. So Frank the Clown is very thick-skinned. Needless to say, I've seen it all over the years, so nothing surprises me. So and Ryan and Michael and all them, they knew too. They like to troll a bit, so they knew the reaction they were going to get. They were confident it was going to sell. I was confident it was going to sell. And to everybody, you know, here they are. It's right here. You're going to want it. It's so colorful. It's beautiful. Actually, what's funny is whoever makes these is referred to as the master. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. They call him the master. And the master had contacted Ryan and Michael and said that this is the most difficult micro brawler they have ever produced, because they're all like hand painted and whatever. And there's a lot of colors on this thing. So these people, you know, maybe like the 5-year-old children, the sweatshop in China who are making this, were painting this up, and you know, it looks great. I don't notice any you know, inefficiencies here. But yeah, so a lot of hard work went into this. So everyone who is crapping on this micro brawler and the hard work, you're just crapping on work ethic. You're crapping on just beautiful artistry. And yeah, that's so there's still a couple available, so still buy it. They're gonna buy it. This is what this is all about.
I was gonna say one perpetuator of the hate, as we call it, I think, is this guy. He didn't want another Frank being made.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
we released, I believe it's around similar times.
Yeah.
So I think there was some sort of like inner Frank rivalry that, you know, there was a, you know, so I wouldn't say jealousy. Yes, I would. And you know, there's only room in this rodeo for one Frank apparently, so we had to battle it out.
I got you.
But yeah, so I will say this, in terms of the way your brawler looks, I've put that up there in terms of just pure, you know, appearance, up there with the original Okada brawler that was released in the crate, just with like the jacket and whatnot. That there's a matchup I'd like to see in some random independent circuit, is Frank the Clown and Kazuchika Okada. I don't care how long it goes, just get both those jackets in the ring at the same time, and I think we'd break the internet.
We'll have
Gotta
that.
throw in the time bomb. Hiromu Takahashi too.
That in the micro brawler group, we have a micro brawler championship, and each new brawler gets a title match against the current champion. Who is the current champion? Do you remember, Ron?
Still RVD. He hasn't defended
RVD
in a while.
still the champion. So
Oh.
coming soon, Frank the Clown will get a titles match against
Oh,
RVD.
yeah, I'm all Frank the Clown is about two things: main events and championships. So you know, when a championship calls, Frank the Clown answers.
There you go.
And apparently you like to ride in helicopters too.
Yes, I love to ride in helicopters. Yeah,
I saw that entrance.
Yes, at Warrior Wrestling over the summer, they run their shows outside at the school. It's Marian Catholic High School in Chicago Heights, and I had been escorted out of the show 2 previous times earlier in the night. I tried crashing the show, so I thought, what better way to make my presence felt than to literally fly a helicopter onto the football field at the show and then crash the show that way. So you know, you could call me Ric Flair in the '80s at Shea Stadium. I took it to another level and literally landed on the field, and it was one of the coolest things ever. And it was my first time in a helicopter, so it was also one of the most frightful things ever.
So is that why Lance Archer was helping you fly also? He likes to...
Yeah, he didn't particularly like me landing on the field. So then the following month, he then just made me fly off a set of bleachers to the ground. It was
How high were those bleachers? That scared me.
Yeah, the bleachers, I mean, I lost track. I mean, it could have been 50 feet. It could have been 60, 100 feet. I don't know. They were pretty high up. They could have also been about 15 feet. That's what people have been saying. But I like to think there was a couple more stories than that.
It looked like 155 feet.
It did. You see, you have nice glasses, so you can see much better than most can.
Yeah, my human's an optician, so he fits me in good glasses.
There we go. Well, thank you, human.
I mean, like Lance Archer says, everybody flies. So he was just trying to give you a hand there.
Yeah.
There you go, Harold. There's your dad joke for the day. Oh. But so as everyone who follows you on Instagram and all the platforms, social media will know that you were in the main event of Freelance's show on Friday night. Yeah. Effie and Robert Anthony were there as well. Yeah. But so we had Robert Anthony on a few months back, and he talked about his relationship with you. And so we want your perspective of how that partnership, friendship, whatever you want to call it, goes.
Did he bury me?
Maybe.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I needed to know what direction I would go with him. So
he had good things to say.
He had good things. So that's Rob. He's a tough love guy. He's got a hard shell on the outside, but he's very soft on the inside. So
you did call out to the masses to not buy, to make your micro bra.
Yes,
sure. So that you know, what's funny about that is he's calling people out. Well, if I'm not mistaken, his micro brawler is actually not a micro brawler. So we're just gonna throw that one out there. It is not an officially licensed micro brawler. No. You know, it looks nice. I have one around here somewhere. It's buried amongst my toys. It's not at the top of the pile by any means. But yeah, I mean, I have a micro brawler. He has whatever they're called. I don't know what they're even called, but it's not a micro brawler. But
this is on a shirt.
What the hell? Oh my!
Oh my God! You came prepared.
Turn on you.
He's wow! Look at that. All right, we're out of time, guys. We got to go.
I was afraid of where that was going for a second. I was like, no nudity on this show.
So Rob and I met probably about 5 years ago. Actually, the first appearance I ever did for Freelance Wrestling in Chicago. It was like a work shoot interview where I came out and like promoted Holy Foley, which was a show I was on the WWE Network. Don't go and watch it. It's not very good. And so I did this interview for it. I did it in the ring. We knew the crowd was going to react poorly to me, so we were going to use it against them. So as I'm doing like this, legitimate interview, at some point as the crowd keeps chanting against me and booing, I turned and started cutting a promo on them. And I had never done anything in the ring before. I didn't really have any aspirations to do anything. So as that happened, Rob was kind of the one that was like overseeing it a bit and was kind of like, just giving me pointers. So he comes to the ring unannounced during this, and I was not prepared for it. So now he saw an opportunity to kind of like, he's like, oh, Frank's getting heat here. Let me try to use a baby face there. So let me try to make the most of this. So he comes out, we do a back and forth. It's great. So he and Ethan Page were main eventing the show. It was like the big year-long blow off to their feud. And they had been like, we need something for more heat on this match. We want to use you, Frank. So again, this is Frank that has no idea what he's doing. I'm like, okay. And like, they were going to have me climb the cage with a chair in my hand. There was a cage match, may I add. And I'm like, okay. And like, I didn't want to do any of it, but I'm like, sure, I'll do it. Eventually we couldn't climb the cage. I was like, oh, thank God. But I managed Ethan Page against Rob, and All Ego beats Ego Robert Anthony, and Rob teases retirement, whatever. Long story short, me and Rob connect after that, and we kind of pitch around ideas. And really, it took about 2 years for me to come back to freelance. I still, again, like, they had their plans. There's still like a weird stigma to me. I hadn't had any sort of tape or any sort of footage of me doing anything. Rob pushed for me. Eventually, they gave in. And now I've just main evented my 6th consecutive freelance wrestling show. So there's something to be said. The come up was very real. But Rob's done a lot along the way for me. Man, he's so good at what he does. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's ahead of his time. If he was, 10 years younger right now, it might be having a different conversation. But he's so good. He's so believable. He's like the independent wrestling Brock Lesnar. That's what I always tell him. And he's starting to like realize that. But Yeah, he's a total dork. He's just as big of a collector about stuff as I am. He's way deeper into the micro brawlers.
We saw his
He's putting
tour.
up for the whole tour.
Yeah.
If you join our Patreon, patreon.com/WNRDB, you can get a full hour-long tour of his basement. It's
Pretty
incredible.
Yeah, it's
So-
impressive. I can't knock him for that. Yeah, he's big into the figures, micro brawlers. I'm not a huge figure guy. I'm more of like a strict Funko guy. But yeah, and he hates Funko Pops. He like the man who loves collecting everything. He just can't bring himself to buy any sort of Funko Pops. They're so stupid. They look so dumb in the package. Blah blah blah. Like he just never has anything good to say. But yeah, Rob is an interesting character. But yeah, he's again pure wrestling. He's so good. He's just a total package. He's big. He's in great. She's in some of the best shape of his life. I always accuse him of being on steroids or human growth hormone, which he vehemently denies. But yeah, Rob is a difficult man to deal with sometimes, but I'm very fortunate to have met him and have him kind of as my sidekick.
That's
He's gonna be
great.
so mad if he watches that.
We'll make sure we isolate that and just tag him right in it. Like Robert Anthony, thoughts?
Yeah, like his big thing recently is like, when you're with me, Frank, you gotta try to be more serious. So the other night at freelance, I wore rainbow overalls. Okay, nothing under, just rainbow overalls. So I walk through the locker room. He's stretching. He looks up and sees me, and I go, I gotta be more serious. He just shakes his head and just puts his head down, just goes back to stretching.
Now, were you two strapping on the overalls? Or did
I
you have,
two strapped it, but then I
Oh.
took a strap off when Effie was down on his knees to tease some sort of, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say two straps shows you're serious, but
I was serious with the two straps, but at some point the strap was like Scott Steiner. The strap came down.
I know. I was gonna say
At
the
some
old
point, you
Jerry
gotta
Lawler.
mean business.
Right,
And take
yeah.
that strap off and kick some butt.
When the strap comes down, it means business. No doubt.
There's a T-shirt. When the strap comes down, it means business. ProWrestlingTees.com/Frank the Clown. But yeah, so you talk about your aspirations and whatnot with wrestling. You know, obviously right now you're in a what some may call a managerial or sidekick position, or a main eventer, as you like to call it. You know, what are your wrestling aspirations? Do you
Yeah.
see yourself potentially going to WWE, AEW? Do you like where you are right now?
I love doing what I'm doing now. I definitely have aspirations for more, and it's a matter of timing, I think. So it really just depends. I'm kind of open to anything and everything. The thing about me is I'm very flexible and like adaptable. So you can kind of place me in any environment with anybody, and I feel like I'll thrive. And I'm always a big purveyor of like, I enjoy being in high pressure situations. So when like my whole thing is like, main event this, main event that, but like there is truth layered behind that, because I like being in big spots. I feel like I perform my best in these big spots, and it's just something. Again, at GCW, I was once the #1 contender for the GCW championship. It was a big spot. It was one of the biggest crowds they had ever had. It was in my hometown. It was a steel cage match. In fact, I like to refer to it as a death match, because that entire ring was covered in glass, unbeknownst to me, walking to the ring. I had assumed the ring was swept up. As I derobed, literally right before stepping in the ring, I realized, oh no, there is literally no ring mat here. It's just glass. Like there's a whole layer of glass for it to even touch the mat. But yeah, it's so again, if AEW would be a great spot for me. I think that they have a lot of managers. They utilize managers far more than WWE does. However, the managers they have are majority Hall of Famers that are, older, 60, 70 years old. Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts, Sting, Tully Blanchard. There's a lot, Vicky Guerrero. So like you have like Dan Lambert, who was there. And Dan Lambert I thought was really good. People didn't like him. There was a lot of Frank the Clown, Dan Lambert, and Dan Lambert and Frank the Clown, where like we could talk, really piss people off. People really don't like us and really, truly don't like us. So I really enjoyed his work. And then, but beyond that, there's not, the Lucha Brothers have Alex, but he's more of a babyface hype guy. So they don't necessarily have a character like me, where I'm very colorful, needless to say. I'm very animated, very annoying. And I think I could add something to a lot of people there. Or if it's something with Rob or whoever else, there's Trevor Outlaw, who I work with down here from the Freelance Academy and Nightmare Factory. Again, I'm adaptable. You could put me with whoever, I can make it work. But I think there's an opportunity. And again, WWE, NXT 2.0, with the color scheme,
There you go.
The color scheme I fit in, but WWE is kind of where managers go to die. So it's nowadays, especially, or it's just where any wrestler goes to apparently die, because that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, so again, I'm very open to everything, and you never know where Frank the Clown may pop up. I refer to myself as the GCW boogeyman. That I just pop up like once or twice a year at GCW, and things don't end well for me generally, but I just pop up out of nowhere. So I prefer kind of being that guy that can be anywhere and anywhere, like at any given time. So we'll see. We'll see. The story has not been told yet.
Is there any chance you'll pop up in my backyard in New York City at the Hammerstein Ballroom next month, January?
I'd be lying if I said there hasn't been thoughts. We will see, but that would be an opportune time for the GCW boogeyman to make his presence known.
Because I'll say this: if you come up to New York City, you let me know. I'll get us lunch at Virgil's, best barbecue joint in the city.
I'll hold you to that.
I'm a man of my word.
I'll hold you to that. Frank the Clown loves himself some barbecue.
Oh,
Frank, will you be at Warrior Wrestling in Chicago in a couple weeks?
So I am not officially promoted for Warrior Wrestling in a couple of weeks, but spoiler alert, I'm going to find my way there, whether they like it or not. I'm waging war currently against Warrior Wrestling. They have been treating Frank the Clown with such disrespect so many times. They continue to put me in positions that bad things happen to me, but no more of that. We're doing it on Frank the Clown's terms. So December 12th at Chicago Heights, or actually it's in Tinley Park, Illinois, I believe. We're switching venues this time. I'm free that day, so I may pop in and, do a couple things.
I'm also free that day, and I'm only like 3 hours away. Do you want me to walk you to the ring and we can kick some serious Warrior Wrestling ass together?
Now, when you say walk to the ring, do you have legs, Harold? I just want to confirm. Otherwise, I have to carry you. Oh, okay, great. So
Yeah, I got legs.
Or you walk out of your, okay, it's fine. Oh, okay, you do have legs. Okay, I see the legs there.
Oh, three. Is that 2 legs or 3?
Oh, there's an arm too.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say that'd be quite the third leg there.
Oh boy.
This is a family show. Hi, Mom. No, but so you talk about where Frank the Clown might pop up. I noticed when we did our Facebook Live reactions to an episode of Rampage in August, you popped up in the front row when CM Punk debuted. Or I don't know if is it a debut, re-debut? I guess it's a debut technically in
debut with Jace. Yeah.
But just, I mean, first of all, if you are allowed to say, did you know what was going to happen that night? And B, just from a fan perspective, sitting there in the front row, what was it like to be in that crowd?
Yeah. So I didn't know, legitimately didn't know. It was like the worst kept secret in wrestling, I think it's been referred to. So no one actually knew for certain, but we all knew. When you book the United Center 2 weeks out and you're teasing all these things, obviously it's going to happen. But I didn't know for an absolute certainty. And in fact, I didn't want to know for an absolute certainty, because there's like that 1% that you have that doubt that when that music hits, it means so much more. So I had always publicly said that to me, the Money in the Bank 2011 with Cena and Punk was like the wrestling moment for me. Punk is, it's well documented. Punk is my hero. I've always loved John Cena, and that match was such a perfect storm. It was an unbelievable crowd in Chicago. To me, it's the best match of the modern era, or whatever you want to call it, in WWE. It's something where they did everything right. Everything after, maybe not so much, but for that one particular night, they did everything as good as they possibly could. But it was the closest thing to perfect you could see. And I always felt kind of sad that, to me personally, nothing was ever going to top that as terms of being a fan. But yeah, that night, August 20th there at the United Center, it definitely topped it, actually, because it's when Bryan Danielson came to AEW, we had seen Bryan Danielson a couple months ago at WrestleMania and on SmackDown and all that. So it still was a huge deal, but Punk had been gone for 7.5 years. And there was, and to me, someone who is pretty in tune with the situation and like knows probably a little bit more than most, I never thought it was going to really happen again. And I wasn't sure if it was even going to be in AEW. So when everything was announced and starting to move, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is actually happening. Like, it was just so surreal. So like that whole night, what's funny is like they filmed 2 hours of dark and elevation before Punk had came out. And a lot of times that burns out the crowd. But it didn't that night, because everyone was just so excited, like 9 o'clock's coming around. And they did it so well where like they didn't say his name. They didn't run any video packages. it goes on the air. They do the wide shot of the crowd. The lights are changing with the chants. Music hits, boom. So, man, emotions just kind of came over me. It was just a big deal. I knew how much it meant to him, and it meant so much to Chicago. It's a very proud city, wrestling especially. I don't think, again, it could have been any better. It was just very, very, very special, and it was so much more than I could have ever imagined it being. I sound like such a old dork, but I love it. That's pro wrestling.
No, not at all. Because like that was
Yeah.
just one of the most genuine feel good moments.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like I mentioned, we're in the Micro Brawler fan group and the PWT VIPs, and I'm just seeing grown men and women just
Yes.
be children again and just emotion taking over. Like I try not to curse whenever I do a video went up, but I did Facebook Live reactions, and the first words out of my mouth as soon as the first riff of Cult burst out, it's holy shit. So
yeah,
but,
yeah, it was very special. And again, you say emotions. Obviously, the famous camera shot, the guy crying. Had they put the camera on me at a certain instance, I might have had the same reaction because there was definitely tears coming down Frank the Clown's face. But yeah, it was super cool to be able to share that moment with Punk for very, very fleeting moments, and just to be there and amongst a lot of people that I know, people that, again, like the PWT crew, and so many of my friends that were there that I know it meant so much to them. It was one big happy family for that night, and something I obviously never forget.
definitely. And now, obviously, with you being in the wrestling industry, a lot of people say that the Attitude Era is the golden age of wrestling almost. But is it fair to say that like we are living in the best time ever of wrestling?
Yeah, it's
your
hard to
point of
argue
view?
against it, because think about all the promotions that are out there now. Back in the Attitude Era, there was, basically two top dogs and then ECW, which, if you want to put them on a similar level. But other than that, like the independents weren't really, I was younger back then, but the independents weren't really a thing like they obviously are now. And then as time has went on, more Ring of Honor popped up, and, PWG, and so on and so forth. So now, there's opportunities for guys and girls everywhere to make money, support their families and everything. And there's not just one game in town, and competition brings the best out in everyone, or it should. And that's what makes wrestling so exciting. What was so exciting about the Attitude Era is because there was competition. WCW and WWE were continually trying to top each other. I was a WCW kid, like devoted. I wasn't even a channel flipper. I was straight WCW. And then I had transitioned over to WWF when they bought WCW. So that simulcast was like my first Raw that I had watched basically full through. And I was aware of like what was going on and, who they were, but I was very, very loyal to a fault to WCW, even especially in the mid 2000s. But yeah, it's great now because, again, like, it's unfortunate that guys and girls have lost their jobs in WWE, but the silver lining is there's opportunities everywhere. So it's not just like, well, what do we do now? There's so much good wrestling out there, and there's just so many opportunities, and there's wrestling literally every night of the week on pretty much national television or YouTube or whatever. And it's a great time to be a fan. It's a great time to be in the business. So everybody's thriving, and I just hope it continues to grow, and I don't expect the momentum to stop. I think it's really kind of just getting started.
Definitely. Yeah, something to say, Ryan?
Serious question. Is that a candy necklace?
It's not a candy necklace. If I chewed on this, it'd probably bust my teeth. It is.
I just noticed it, and I think I must be hungry or something. I'm like, oh wait, that's a candy necklace. Okay.
It looks very much like a candy necklace, but it is like rainbow pearls, I would call it. Yeah, it's an unnecessary thing to wear at 11:30 a.m. But hey, that's Frank the Clown.
We're all doing unnecessary things this early in the morning. But one other question I did want to ask. I'm sorry, Harold, did you have a question?
I have a couple of non-wrestling related questions, if that's all right.
Of course it is, Harold. You're the commissioner of the show.
Frank, question one. What is your favorite part about going to Disney?
Oh my gosh.
Because you're a very big Disney fan.
I am a Disney nerd, very much so. So I tell some people don't understand Disney World. They go there and they're like, oh, it's for kids. Here's the thing. There's something new to do there every single time. There's 4 parks. There's 2 water parks. There's mini golf courses. There's 20 resorts filled with different restaurants and things to do. There's little nooks and crannies to tuck away and relax. There's always something new to do. I'm an annual pass holder there. I'm there constantly. There, even if you pop in there for 2 hours to have dinner, or if you want to stroll around the park or get a walk in and get some exercise, whatever it may be, you can do whatever you want there. no one is judging you. No one's paying attention. You could just go there and have the time of your life. So I can't really pick one thing. I'm a big food guy there. So I like trying as many of the restaurants as I can. I've tried many of them at this point. So yeah, I always tell people who are like, Frank, you're at Disney World again? What's wrong with you? You're 31 years old. What are you doing? No, I love Disney World. I love Disneyland. I love theme parks in general, but there's something about Disney. The magic is real. You walk in there and it's kind of an escape from reality. You can kind of just let loose and have a good time, go at your own pace. It's great. So I can't say enough good things about Disney World. It's very hard to pick one, but if I did, the food and everything is very important to me.
Wonderful.
Harold,
I got two more. Is that okay?
Shoot, keep on going, Harold.
All right, the next one. Do you have a number one favorite Funko Pop that you own?
Oh my gosh, Harold is coming with some heaters here.
I told you we could bring curveballs. You said you could hit a curveball.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
my
hit the
next one's
curveball.
quite a curveball. Don't you worry.
So I'll toss a couple at you. Speaking of Disney, my favorite ride at Disney is the Haunted Mansion. There is an entire Haunted Mansion set at for Funko Pops. It's incredible how many pops they've made for one 6-minute ride. But again, I'm not complaining because I love the attraction. So I have there was a 4-pack they did of the different ghosts, Hatbox Ghost, Phineas, Gus, and Ezra, that they did for San Diego Comic-Con 2016, where they're limited to 1,000 pieces each. They're glow-in-the-dark ghosts. They look awesome in the glow. They're very expensive. They're very hard to find now because you combine Disney with Haunted Mansion and exclusivity with San Diego Comic-Con and glow. They're going to be sought after. So I have the full Haunted Mansion set with those ones and all the other ones included. So that one's very prized to me. When it comes to WWE, I have the CM Punk Hot Topic exclusive pink Macho Man tights. This one came out in probably 2014, 15. So it's an older one, obviously not produced anymore. And that one, again, very expensive. And I have the entire WWE collection minus one John Cena exclusive that was a live events exclusive, probably again around the same time frame, 7 years ago or so, where it's nothing special. It's like him in a green hat. They've just mixed up the hats and the gear a little bit. It's probably about $1,000 pop at this point. I'm very stingy about what I pay, so I refuse to pay that, even if it's the one I'm missing. So I'll wait for an opportunity. Eventually, where there's a will, there's a way in the collecting game. So if I have my eyes peeled enough, I'll come across it for a price I'm comfortable with. But yeah, those would be kind of the ones that jump out at me right away.
Very, very cool. I have a small Funko Pop collection myself. Now, my third question.
How many is small? How many is small?
I don't know, like 30 or so.
Keep it that way because it's a very slippery slope.
Yeah, I'm pretty poor, so I can't really afford a lot. My
you got
last
a great
question
set of glasses and hair. You look like a very wealthy man.
I am bougie on a budget.
Wealthy and
My last question is a little bit more personal.
Okay.
Someone very close in your life is also a Santa Claus. How is it being good friends with Santa?
I know Santa.
I know
Santa. So, there's good things and there's bad things about knowing Santa. The good things is Santa. Santa can bring you gifts. Santa can spread the holiday cheer. Santa can do all kinds of things. You can make wishes and dreams come true. However, Santa always knows the bad things you're doing. Frank the Clown has been known to do a couple bad things in his day. So he could hold that against me and I could potentially be on the naughty list. So there's really no escaping Santa's wrath in that case. So I have to be on my best little clown behavior. Otherwise, presents may not be under the tree. And if they are, they could potentially be filled with coal. And Frank the Clown does not want coal.
Yeah, please tell old Saint Nick that Harold has been a good puppet this year and presents should be flowing my way.
What do you want for Christmas, Harold?
I want to meet my friends on the Wrestling N.R.D. Broadcast in person.
Oh, what a liar.
I love you
wholesome.
guys. No, I want a whole bunch of candy.
You know what
Swedish
I want
Miss, gummy bears, not red vine, shoestring licorice.
You know what I
wish
want
I
for
had-
Christmas? Am I allowed to make my request?
No,
I want my crown back for the King of the Nerds championship that was stolen from me at Survivor Series, okay?
you're not winning,
That's what
Dave.
I want back.
Shots fired.
I want the Cardona wedding brawlers for very cheap.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
But
Thanks so
speaking,
much for answering my 3 wild card questions, Frank.
You're most very welcome.
But speaking of the wedding brawlers there, that brings us to our top 3 Tuesday topic, which Frank has not told us yet. We have no idea what it's going to be. So, Frank, have you decided on a top 3 Tuesday choice?
So I want to clarify one thing. It
Okay.
does not have to be wrestling related, correct? It could just
Correct.
be anything.
Correct.
Okay. So I just rattle off my 3 right now.
Well,
You,
tell us.
well, we need the
so we
topic
can-
as well, so we can think of what to do as well.
Hmm.
What's your topic?
Let's do no. Let's do TV sitcom characters.
Got it. Got him
So
already.
easy. I love this.
TV sitcom characters.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one that pops into my head, and it's a sitcom. It's a very random one. I want a Larry David micro brawler.
Ooh.
Yes.
Because Larry David would hate micro brawlers. Without a doubt. He would hate them. He would think they were stupid. They're silly. They don't look like him. They make him look balder than he is. That was the first, when I was asked to come up with this, that was the first one I thought of. It was a Larry David micro brawler, which I assume nobody has came up with besides me.
I love it.
I love that. Who else you got?
The other ones that I had would be, I would want Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Ooh.
There's so many different outfits you can do of Will. He was very much with the times in the 90s of just ridiculous striped outfits and button-up shirts and pants, and he had the flat top sometimes. And yeah, that would be a great one.
All right. And your third offering.
And my third one, so I had a couple here. It's hard to narrow it down.
It's gonna steal all our answers in one shot, I guarantee it.
I'll try to take Willis from Different Strokes.
Oh,
I get.
I need to go next then.
No.
I need to go next because my first one was Arnold Drummond from Different Strokes.
The whole stuff.
Wow.
I was a huge Gary Coleman fan growing up. I loved Different Strokes. Oh, see, we are on the same page here.
There we
my
go.
friend.
I mean, I didn't expect anybody to be going Different Strokes. So
I
there we
didn't.
go.
I wasn't thinking Willis. I was thinking Arnold.
Yeah. I wanted. That's why I said I wanted to go a little bit an unorthodox one. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So then I'll go. My second one will be. I just had it. Who the hell did I have? Let's go. Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch. I think Mr. Brady would be a solid pick. And then my third one, let's go Drew Carey from the Drew Carey
Oh,
Show.
there you go. Just
Shout
a
out to
Dave
Lemonhead.
Canning micro brawl.
Yeah.
Nick, who are your top 3?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go a little off the board here. I'm gonna go Boy Meets World Vader.
Oh.
I like that.
We'll go. What about a Steve Urkel?
Dang it.
So that was what I was gonna do as well. That for my last one, but I figured somebody else was gonna go with it.
And let's think of a last one. I'm trying to think it back. I don't watch a lot of TV, honestly. So I'm trying to think back my childhood. What about? Why am I drawing a blank?
Blanking. Not under pressure. He's not cool under pressure.
You went out of order, Dave. You stole it. It's NRD. NRD.
Yeah, NRD.
He stole my crown. So I'm just stealing my top
Ooh.
3.
Heel.
Let's do a. God, what's the kid's name from the
Don't you dare.
the Wonder Years? The brother, isn't it?
Kevin Arnold?
Eric Bischoff, and he was part of WCW.
Oh, Wayne.
Wayne
Yeah.
Arnold from the
Yes.
Wonder Years. I'm trying to keep it wrestling related.
All right. Ryan, who do you have?
Man, you guys bring them up, and then as soon as you said Wayne, I'm like, oh man, a child me would love a Winnie figure. I'm not going to go.
I think we all would.
Yeah. First thought, Prison Mike from The Office. I love Prison Mike.
Oh, that's a good one. I have a pop of him somewhere around here. I think he's downstairs.
Heck yeah. I was gonna say maybe Michael Scarn, Michael Schoon, but Prison
I have a
Mike.
pop of that too.
More
Yep.
toy. Going off, stealing off Frank saying Fresh Prince. I'm gonna go Carlton, like with the motion, doing the dance would be pretty cool.
Mhm.
And then maybe oh gosh, I'm getting old. I'm forgetting names. Can't think of the guy's name.
What's the show?
The Saved by the Bell. The
Mr. Belton?
curly haired
Zach Morris.
Screech.
Casey
Preach. Sorry.
Preach.
Dustin Diamond.
Dustin Diamond, R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Dustin
man.
Diamond. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that 3. Harold.
Well, I'm not a big TV guy. I watch like 4 shows on repeat over and over and over again. My number 1 would be Mo Sizlak from The Simpsons.
Ooh.
My number 2 is a 2-pack. Troy and Abed in the morning from Community.
Okay.
And my number 3 would be oh gosh, I can't remember his name. When he drops the chili in the office.
Oh, Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin dropping the chili, or the other guy getting all excited about Pretzel Day.
Stanley.
Stanley, that's right.
That's a solid top 3 across the board from all 5 of us. So yes, let us know your top 3 Tuesday in the comments section below. So Frank, before we let you go, again, thank you for coming on, and feel free to plug away any and all merchandise, appearances, whatever you got.
Well,
remember this
why
airs
we're
after
here.
Thanksgiving weekend. So
Yes. So my Micro Brawler, an M3 Toys exclusive, is available still in very, very limited quantities. This is not a marketing ploy to get the last surge of these out. It is a true statement that there's very, very few of these left, and they're going to be gone forever. And they will only be available as an eBay exclusive soon enough. So again, the detail on these is incredible. For the wrestling dorks out there, this outfit is from Robert Anthony versus Kylie Ray for the Freelance Championship in February of 2020, which to me is one of the best independent wrestling matches that I'd ever seen, not just because I was a part of it, but because it was told such a great story. It's on YouTube. It has literally like 5 million views if you look it on YouTube.
Wow.
It like went viral in India or something. Yeah.
Kylie is the best. I love her.
Yes, yeah, Kylie is the best of
I
days.
know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so that's what this outfit is from. I only wore it one time, so, and I got blood all over it because Rob bled like a pig during that match. So it's literally like in a case in another room somewhere. So in the back, it's got the card you can cut out and everything. It's got the m3toys.com exclusive. So yeah, m3toys.com. They are still available on there. We have the regular ones retail at $19.99. And we have autograph ones, which, again, for all the autograph dorks out there, I had signed them in colorful font. So it's not just a black Sharpie or silver Sharpie. Every single one is different, where I did Frank the Clown, I did a smiley face with the wig with the tongue out, and it's all different colors. So they look awesome. It's really, really cool. Again, they look great in person. And if you see Frank the Clown at an event, I will be at Warrior Wrestling, as we discussed, December 12th in Chicago Heights. I have Freelance Underground, which is in Itasca, Illinois, December 4th. My schedule's been wacky. I'm trying to have a nice holidays, but when wrestling calls, Frank the Clown answers. So those will be the ones I'm at in the foreseeable future. AEW is in Chicago this Wednesday, but this is going to air after. So this is going to air afterwards, correct?
Yes, after Thanksgiving.
Frank the Clown will be at the Wintrust Center down in Chicago, Illinois, in some capacity. That capacity remains to be seen, but we'll see. It'll be there in some way, shape, or form. And and again, I have prowrestlingtees.com/Frank the Clown. I have multiple designs on there. Some are self-deprecating, where they say I hate Frank the Clown. Some have my face on it like this, which is beautiful artwork. And again, keep an eye out. Frank the Clown, again, as previously discussed, can pop up anywhere at any time. My Twitter at @FrankTheClown_, Instagram at @FrankTheClown_. I was the artist formerly now known as Frank WWE Clown, and I was desperately trying to switch my name to just Frank the Clown without the underscore. However, the Frank the Clown minus the underscore account has not tweeted in 11 years, and it only tweeted 2 tweets back in May of 2010. I have it memorized because it haunts me. 2 tweets on that one day and never again. And I have done everything I can to get this account. I cannot get it, so I had to add the goddamn underscore. But whatever, it's okay. Frank the Clown is an independent clown who does not need no major corporation like WWE in his Twitter handle. So therefore, I am now Frank the Clown _. Big Twitter guy, Instagram guy, I'm more of a lurker. But Twitter, I'm all over the Twitter machine.
Awesome. So yes, everyone, make sure you go buy Frank's merchandise, buy the Brawler, buy the shirts, and
Buy
support
the
him on all
Brawler.
platforms.
Definitely.
Yes,
Buy the Brawler.
we've
It should
all
be
bought them
shipping
here.
soon, too.
We're all waiting for them.
That's what
So.
Michael
They're coming.
said.
I would just
Bought them. They're on their way, Sid.
they're on their way. I had signed the autograph ones literally yesterday. I was at the M3 Toys worldwide headquarters. Spent a lot of time signing them because I'm a psycho that signed them in multiple colors all the way through. So normally people are just like, nope. Frank the Clown took his time on each individual one, so they look
Frank the Clown
awesome.
cares.
Frank the Clown cares.
We go.
If there's one takeaway here, Frank the Clown cares.
FTCC, Frank the Clown cares,
That's
folks.
the title of the episode.
That's what it'll be. So yes, make sure you go follow Frank and support him with all the merchandise. You can follow us on all the platforms of social media: Facebook, Twitter, WNRDB, Instagram, the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast, Patreon. You can pledge to us, patreon.com/WNRDB. Of course, check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com/the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast. You have hats, shirts, and so much more. And of course, right here on YouTube, like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, on behalf of myself, the voice, Dave Canning, the founding father, Nick Carpenter, the micro brawler, scholar, Ryan Crossley, and of course, our commissioner, Harold the Puppet, and of course, our esteemed guest this week, the man who cares, the main event, Frank the Clown. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tell your mother you love her every day because, like Kevin Durant said, Mom, you're the real MVP. Good night, everyone, and God bless America.
Hell of a promo.